Have you ever loved someone so much that you thought you could fix them? That no matter how much they hurt you, you kept hoping they would change? What if I told you, sometimes the bravest kind of love is the one that knows when to let go? Welcome to our community, where we talk about deep feelings, soul connections, and the powerful journeys we go through across lifetimes. If you believe in real love, second chances, and growing stronger after heartbreak, you're in the right place. I invite you to show some love, like, comment, and share your thoughts, because your voice matters here. Together, we are building a family that understands what it feels like to love deeply and to heal bravely. Today's story is called Love Across Lifetimes, when the chosen one loves the narcissist enough to finally let them go. It's a story about the kind of love that doesn't just stay, it sets free. A love that has traveled through many lifetimes, carrying hope, pain, dreams, and finally, the strength to say goodbye with peace. Stay with me until the very end, because by the time you finish this story, you might just see your own journey in a whole new way. You'll discover why letting go isn't giving up. It's loving even more deeply. And who knows? Maybe today is the day you finally set your own soul free. So grab a cozy seat, open your heart, and let's dive into a story that could change the way you look at love forever. Love is often seen as holding on tightly to someone, standing by their side no matter what happens. We hear stories about people never giving up, always fighting for the ones they love, but sometimes real love doesn't mean holding on. Sometimes real love means knowing when it's time to let go. It's one of the hardest things a person can do, but it can also be the most beautiful. Imagine carrying a heavy bag for years. You think it's your job to carry it because you care about it. You hope that someday the weight will get lighter, or that someone will come and help you. But the truth is, the longer you carry it, the heavier it becomes. It starts to hurt your back, slow down your steps, and take away your joy. Here's where the real hook of life comes in. What if the greatest act of love is not holding on tighter, but finally setting someone free? Letting go doesn't mean you never cared. It doesn't mean the love was fake. It means you love yourself enough to not lose your own light. And it also means you love them enough to let them walk their own path, even if it's far from you. Sometimes we must step away, not because we stopped loving, but because we understand that staying will only bring more hurt to both sides. It takes real strength to walk away with a heart full of love instead of anger. It takes wisdom to know that true love is not about controlling someone or fixing them. True love is about wishing the best for them, even if that best life doesn't include you anymore. When you let go with love, you free yourself and the other person. You allow healing to happen. You open the door for new beginnings, for growth, for peace. And in doing so, you show a kind of love that is rare and pure. The kind that isn't about holding on tightly, but about setting someone free to find their own wings. This is a love that echoes across lifetimes, and it always leaves a light burning, a light that guides both souls home in their own time. Some connections between people feel different. They feel stronger, deeper, and harder to explain. It's like you've known this person before, even if you just met them. This feeling isn't your imagination. Sometimes it's a sign of a bond that stretches across many lifetimes. Chosen ones and narcissists often share a special kind of connection that goes far beyond this lifetime. It's called a karmic tie. Karma is like unfinished business from the past. When two souls have hurt each other, loved each other, or failed to heal something important, their bond carries forward into the next life. They meet again, pulled together by invisible strings, not just by chance, but by something much deeper. In many lifetimes, the chosen one is the healer, the one who feels a strong need to fix what is broken. The narcissist, on the other hand, carries old wounds and patterns of selfishness, pride, and fear. Their meeting is no accident. They are drawn together by the universe to face what was left undone. They come together again, and again, hoping in some hidden way to heal, to forgive, and to set things right. This is the heart of the timeless bond. It is not just about love, it is about healing old pain that never got a chance to heal before. It's like two puzzle pieces trying to fit together perfectly, but finding sharp edges that still need smoothing out. The chosen one often feels a deep responsibility, like they must save the narcissist, show them real love, or fix the relationship no matter what it costs. But the lesson hidden inside this timeless bond is not about fixing the other person. It's about recognizing when the cycle needs to end and when true healing comes from letting go. By understanding the bond and seeing it clearly, the chosen one can finally break free from lifetimes of hurt. They can learn that true love sometimes means releasing the past with kindness, not clinging to it in pain. When this happens, the heavy chain between them begins to break, and both souls are given a new chance, a chance to grow, to be free, and to finally find peace. This is what makes the bond timeless, right? Not the pain, but the powerful opportunity to heal what was once broken across lifetimes. Sometimes, love doesn't come into our lives looking like a lesson. It comes wrapped in charm, passion, and promises. It feels exciting, magical, like we've finally found the person who understands us completely. But not all love is what it seems. When a chosen one meets a narcissist, it can feel like finding a long-lost soulmate. At first, everything seems perfect. The narcissist mirrors the chosen one's dreams, hopes, and deepest desires. They say all the right things. They act like they see the chosen one's heart better than anyone else ever could. It feels too perfect to question. It feels like destiny. But here's the twist that breaks the illusion. The narcissist isn't seeing the real soul of the chosen one. They are reflecting the chosen one's deepest wounds back to them. The narcissist picks up on the hidden fears, the old sadness, the broken places the chosen one carries deep inside. They don't heal those wounds. Instead, they play with them, making the chosen one feel needed, loved, and important. But only for a while. Little by little, the magic turns into confusion, pain, and self-doubt. The chosen one starts to question their worth, just like they did long ago when those wounds first formed. The love that felt so real turns into a trap built from old hurts. It wasn't true soulmate love, it was a mirror of pain disguised as passion. The chosen one often stays, trying harder and harder to get back to that beautiful beginning, believing that if they just love more, sacrifice more, everything will go back to the way it was. But real love doesn't break you down. It doesn't make you feel smaller, weaker, or unworthy. True love lifts you up and helps you heal, not hide your scars deeper. Seeing the illusion is painful, but powerful. It teaches the chosen one that they don't need to earn love by suffering. They deserve love that is real, steady, and kind, love that doesn't just mirror their wounds but helps them grow into their strongest, brightest self. Breaking free from the illusion isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, a dawn where the chosen one can finally see their own worth, without needing anyone else to tell them. For those who are chosen, love often comes with a deep sense of responsibility. It's not just about the connection, it's about the mission. The chosen one feels as though they are called to heal, to fix, to bring light to the darkest places. When they meet a narcissist, this sense of duty becomes even stronger. They believe it's their sacred role to save this person, to heal their wounds, and to bring them to a place of understanding and peace. This belief doesn't just come from nowhere, it's a curse that runs deep across lifetimes. The chosen one has always carried this feeling of responsibility, whether they realized it or not. In every life, they have found themselves drawn to the broken, the lost, the ones in need of healing. And each time, they take it on themselves to fix what is broken, even at the cost of their own well-being. But here's the dangerous truth. The narcissist isn't looking for healing. They're looking for validation, control, and admiration. The chosen one's efforts are often met with manipulation and empty promises. No matter how hard they try, no matter how much love they give, The narcissist doesn't change. The chosen one, though, keeps believing that their love can make a difference, that this time they'll succeed in healing the wound that goes back through lifetimes. It's like trying to heal a wound that never fully heals, hoping that if you keep trying, it will finally close. But each attempt only deepens the scar. The more the chosen one tries, the more they lose themselves in the process. They start to feel as though their entire purpose is tied to this one mission: to heal someone who refuses to be healed. The curse of the chosen one is this: they can't see their own worth beyond this mission. They believe that their love is meant for the broken, that their purpose is to fix what others can't. But true healing comes when they realize that their worth isn't tied to fixing anyone else. They don't need to sacrifice themselves to make someone else better. The curse lifts only when the chosen one finally understands that their mission isn't about healing the narcissist. It's about healing themselves, stepping away from the endless cycle, and learning that their love can be used to build their own life, not just to fix someone else's. For many chosen ones, their relationships with narcissists feel like they are fated, as if these encounters were destined to happen, written in the stars. The bond feels deep, almost cosmic, like it's a part of their soul's journey. Every time they meet, it feels like the same pull, the same connection, the same belief that this is the one relationship they must fix. The sense of fate makes it seem like there's no escaping the cycle. No matter how much pain it causes, they are drawn together again and again like magnets with a force they can't resist. But what often feels like a divine connection quickly turns into something much darker. These relationships, though seemingly meant to be, are tragic. They spin in endless cycles of hope, pain, and disappointment. Every lifetime, the chosen one believes that this time will be different. This time they will fix the narcissist. This time they will break the pattern. They start out with love and hope, believing that they are the one who can heal the wounds of the narcissist and transform their life. The chosen one pours everything they have into this relationship, thinking they're on a mission, fulfilling a greater purpose. But each time, the cycle repeats. The narcissist shows signs of change, promises to be better, and makes the chosen one believe that healing is possible. And for a while, it feels real. There are moments of joy, laughter, and connection where the narcissist seems to soften, but as quickly as the love grows, the narcissist falls back into their old patterns. The manipulation begins again, the promises are broken, the chosen one feels betrayed, confused, and heartbroken. But they hold on to the belief that the love they give can change things. The pain is unbearable, but the chosen one refuses to give up. They convince themselves that they simply haven't done enough, that if they try harder, if they love deeper, this time will be different. And so they go around again trying to fix what cannot be fixed, hoping that the love they feel will heal the wounds of the narcissist. It's a cycle that never seems to end. With each cycle, the chosen one feels more and more exhausted, both emotionally and spiritually. They feel as if they are walking the same path over and over with no progress. The narcissist doesn't change, and the chosen one continues to give, continuing to hope, continuing to suffer. The heartbreak becomes familiar, and yet the love never truly fades. The cycle traps them in a loop of pain, where they are caught between love and hurt, wanting to break free but unsure how. The tragedy lies in the fact that no matter how hard the chosen one tries, they can't save the narcissist. The narcissist's wounds are not theirs to fix. Yet the chosen one's belief in the bond and the hope that it will get better keeps them trapped. They are pulled in, unable to break free, believing that each lifetime holds the potential for something different, something better. The endless cycle continues until the chosen one finally understands that true healing begins with letting go, breaking the cycle once and for all. When they realize that they cannot save the narcissist, they can finally start to heal themselves, stop the cycle, and move toward a future where they are no longer bound by the past. Only then can they find peace and free themselves from the fated tragedy that held them captive for so long. For a long time, the chosen one believes that their love is the key to saving someone else. They see the narcissist's pain, their brokenness, and they feel a deep responsibility to heal it. Every act of kindness, every sacrifice, feels like it brings them closer to mending the wounds of the narcissist. The chosen one holds on to this belief tightly, thinking that if they just love enough, they can fix everything. But one day, something shifts. It's like a light flickers on, a moment of clarity that feels as if the weight of all those years suddenly lifts. The chosen one realizes that the constant effort to heal someone who refuses to heal themselves has been draining them, not because they didn't love enough, but because they've been giving away pieces of themselves in the process. They've been so focused on saving the narcissist that they've forgotten to save themselves. In that moment, the chosen one sees the truth. Loving the narcissist doesn't mean saving them, it means saving themselves. This realization doesn't come all at once, but like a wave, it crashes in and sweeps away the confusion. For so long, they've been trapped in the idea that their love could fix someone else's brokenness, but in this powerful awakening, they see that their love needs to be directed inward, toward their own healing. It's not about abandoning love, it's about recognizing that they deserve love. That doesn't require endless sacrifice. They are worthy of love that nurtures them, uplifts them, and helps them grow, not love that drains them and leaves them empty. In this awakening, the chosen one understands that true love is not about fixing another person, it's about caring for themselves, finding their own peace, and honoring their worth. The narcissist may still be in pain, but the chosen one no longer feels the need to carry that pain for them. The awakening moment is the start of a new chapter. It's about self-care, setting boundaries, and understanding that the healing journey begins with themselves, not with anyone else. In this moment of awakening, the chosen one steps into their power, no longer believing that their purpose is to save someone else, but to finally save themselves. True love is not about possession. It's not about holding someone so tightly that they lose their freedom. It's not about clinging to a person and never letting them go, no matter how much you love them. Real love respects the other person's freedom, their choices, and their path. The truth is, love can be the most powerful force in the world, but when it turns into attachment, it becomes suffocating. Attachment makes love feel like a chain, binding you to someone not because you want to, but because you're afraid of losing them. The fear of loss can make you hold on tighter, making the relationship more about need than love. It's like trying to trap something beautiful in a cage, and in doing so, you lose the very essence of what made it beautiful. When you love someone truly and without attachment, you honor their free will. You understand that they are their own person with their own dreams, desires, and journeys to follow. True love doesn't try to control or change them. It lets them be who they are, even if that means they need to walk away. It's a love that says, I love you, but I will not force you to stay if you're not meant to be here. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for someone is to let them go, even when your heart aches with the desire to hold on. The chosen one might feel like it's their responsibility to heal or save the narcissist, but the truth is, letting go is the most powerful act of love. It means trusting that the person you love is capable of making their own decisions and that you don't need to be the one to fix them. It also means understanding that your own happiness does not depend on keeping someone in your life against their will. In letting go, you make space for both of you to grow and become better versions of yourselves. True love frees both hearts to experience life without fear of loss or the weight of unmet expectations. It's a love that holds no strings, no chains, no control, only freedom. In this freedom, love can flourish in its purest form, untainted by attachment, and it can become a beautiful, selfless act. Sometimes the most painful relationships are the ones that lead to the most powerful transformations. For the chosen one, the narcissist often plays a role they never expected. they become the catalyst for deep spiritual growth and self-realization. At first, the chosen one may feel as though they are stuck in a cycle of hurt and frustration, pouring love into someone who doesn't seem to care. But what if that very relationship is exactly what the chosen one needs to evolve into their higher self? The narcissist, with their manipulations and emotional games, forces the chosen one to confront parts of themselves they might have never wanted to face. They challenge the chosen one's beliefs about love, self-worth, and personal boundaries. In a relationship with a narcissist, the chosen one often gives more than they receive, overextends themselves, and ends up feeling exhausted and drained. But this imbalance teaches the chosen one an important lesson. Their value does not depend on someone else's approval or love. Through the narcissist's behavior, the chosen one is pushed to develop stronger boundaries, to learn self-love, and to understand their worth outside of the approval of others. The narcissist may try to manipulate or control, but the chosen one starts to realize they are no longer willing to be controlled. The pain of these experiences becomes a mirror, showing the chosen one what they need to heal within themselves. It's as if the narcissist is playing the role of the teacher, even if they don't realize it. The more the chosen one is forced to face their own fears, insecurities, and unhealthy patterns, the more they are pushed to grow spiritually. The narcissist becomes a mirror to their own unresolved wounds, and in this reflection they find the tools for healing. This process leads to greater self-awareness, a stronger sense of self-worth, and a deeper connection with their own spiritual journey. By letting go of the narcissist, the chosen one realizes that true power lies within themselves. They begin to understand that their soul growth isn't dependent on someone else's validation. It's a journey that begins with self-acceptance and self-love. The narcissist, in their role as a mirror, helps the chosen one to see the strength and potential they always had inside them, waiting to be awakened. Not every love story is meant to last forever. It's a hard truth to accept, especially when you feel deeply connected to someone. The heart wants what it wants, and sometimes that leads to the belief that love must last a lifetime to be real. But there is something powerful about recognizing that some relationships come into your life not to stay, but to teach you something important. Divine timing is about understanding that every relationship, no matter how short-lived, has a purpose. Some relationships are meant to awaken parts of us we didn't know existed, challenge our deepest fears, and push us to grow. They show us lessons we might never have learned otherwise, lessons about love, self-worth, boundaries, or letting go. These experiences don't need to last forever to be meaningful. In fact, sometimes the most profound lessons come from the relationships that are meant to pass through our lives, not stay in them. When the time comes to release someone, even if it feels painful, it's important to trust that it's all part of a larger plan. Divine timing often brings people together for a season, not a lifetime. And that's okay. Just because a relationship ends doesn't mean it was a failure. It simply means that the time for that chapter in your life has come to a close. Letting go with grace is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and the other person. When you recognize divine timing, you stop fighting the end of a relationship and start embracing the lessons it offered. You see the value in the experience, the ways it helped you grow, the lessons it taught you about yourself and others. Even if the love didn't last, the growth and wisdom that came from it will stay with you forever. Love doesn't have to be forever to be meaningful. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is to release someone at the right time, knowing that this is what they need as much as you do. In recognizing divine timing, you honor the flow of life, trusting that everything happens as it should in its own perfect moment. Emotional liberation is one of the most powerful transformations we can experience. It's a journey from feeling broken and trapped in pain to finding freedom and strength within ourselves. At first, it may seem impossible, when the heart aches and the weight of sorrow feels unbearable. Heartbreak can feel like a prison, trapping you in sadness and self-doubt. It's easy to believe that you'll never be able to move on, that the pain will never end. But this journey from heartbreak to liberation is not just about healing, it's about discovering your inner strength and reclaiming your power. When we go through emotional pain, it often feels like a battle. You might wonder how you'll ever be whole again, how you'll rise above the hurt. But with time, something incredible begins to happen. The pain slowly turns into wisdom. What once felt like an emotional prison starts to feel like a space where you're learning, growing, and finding deeper clarity about who you are. It's like shedding old skin, and as you let go of what no longer serves you, you open yourself up to the possibility of something new, a future where you are no longer defined by the past. Sorrow gives way to sovereignty when you realize that you have the power to choose your own path. The heartbreak that once felt like it would consume you starts to lose its grip. Slowly, you start to see that you don't need anyone else's approval or validation to feel worthy. You are enough, exactly as you are. As the sorrow fades, your inner strength rises to the surface, and you begin to reclaim your life. You learn that your happiness, peace, and self-worth come from within, not from someone else. Emotional liberation doesn't mean the pain goes away instantly, but it means you start to free yourself from the past, from the heartache that once held you down. You grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, not just toward others, but toward yourself. You begin to realize that you are the creator of your own story, and the power to live freely and authentically lies within you. From heartbreak to liberation, you rise stronger and more self-aware than before. Imagine that your life is guided by an invisible contract, a soul contract, that connects you to the people and experiences that shape your journey. Some of these connections bring joy, while others bring pain. When we're deeply involved in a relationship that hurts, it can feel like we've signed a contract of suffering, one that ties us to patterns of heartbreak, disappointment, and emotional struggle. But what if you could rewrite that contract? What if, instead of being bound to pain, you could transform it into something freeing? By letting go with love, the chosen one has the power to rewrite this soul contract. When the time comes to release someone or something that no longer serves you, it's not about rejecting or running away from the pain. It's about transforming the energy of that relationship into something more empowering. The chosen one, by choosing to let go, takes control of their life and their destiny, replacing a contract of pain with a covenant of freedom. This new covenant is about reclaiming your power and deciding that you are no longer willing to stay trapped in cycles of suffering. It's an act of love, not just for the other person, but for yourself. Letting go is not an easy choice, but it's a choice that opens the door to healing, growth, and emotional freedom. The chosen one recognizes that true love doesn't mean holding on to someone at any cost. Love, at its highest form, is about allowing both parties to grow and evolve, even if that means moving on from each other. When you let go with love, you rewrite your soul contract by choosing peace, self-respect, and freedom. You decide that you will no longer be weighed down by old wounds or the expectations of others. Instead, you create space for new, healthier connections and for a future where you are free to be your true self. This act of rewriting your soul contract doesn't just release the other person, it releases you from the chains of the past, allowing you to step into a life of possibility and self-empowerment. In rewriting the soul contract, the chosen one turns pain into power, sorrow into strength, and heartbreak into the beautiful freedom to love themselves fully. You are the author of your own story, and now you choose a new chapter. For generations, certain patterns of behavior and belief can get passed down in families. These patterns might include feelings of guilt, codependency, or even the need to sacrifice ourselves for others, sometimes to the point of self-destruction. If you've ever felt like you're carrying the weight of past family struggles, you're not alone. But here's the good news: you have the power to break these generational patterns and heal ancestral wounds that have been passed down through the ages. When the chosen one decides to let go with love, it's not just about one person or one relationship. It's a powerful act of healing that extends beyond the present moment. By breaking the chains of unhealthy behaviors and beliefs, you are healing not only yourself, but also generations of pain and struggle. These patterns of guilt, martyrdom, and codependency might have been part of your family story for years, but you don't have to carry them any longer. Codependency often shows up in relationships where one person feels responsible for another's happiness or well-being to the point of losing themselves. Guilt can cause us to feel we're not good enough unless we're constantly giving or sacrificing, and martyrdom keeps us trapped in the belief that we must always put others first, even at the expense of our own well-being. These patterns might have come from previous generations, from parents, grandparents, or even further back. But the chosen one has the power to stop the cycle and bring healing to the family tree. Letting go with love isn't just about freeing yourself from one relationship. It's a declaration that you will no longer repeat the mistakes of the past. It's about choosing self-love over guilt, boundaries over codependency, and freedom over martyrdom. By healing your own wounds, you begin to heal the wounds of those who came before you, and you break the patterns that no longer serve you. You create space for future generations to grow up without carrying the same burdens, free from the emotional chains that once held your family down. Breaking these generational patterns doesn't happen overnight. It takes courage, strength, and self-awareness. But with every step you take towards healing, you not only transform your own life, you heal the generations that came before and the ones that will come after. There's a powerful truth that many people don't realize. You don't need someone's apology, closure, or change to find peace. It's easy to think that we can only heal once we get that sorry or some form of acknowledgement from the person who hurt us. But the reality is, closure doesn't come from the outside, it comes from within. When dealing with a narcissist, it can feel like an emotional roller coaster. The narcissist might never apologize, take responsibility, or change their behavior, leaving you stuck in a loop of longing for validation. But true peace doesn't depend on whether they change or admit their wrongs. It's about learning to release the need for external validation and finding closure within yourself. The chosen one learns that closure is not about getting an apology or hoping someone will finally understand the hurt they caused. Closure comes when you decide to let go of the emotional weight that keeps you stuck. It's about recognizing that their behavior doesn't define your worth or your peace. You have the power to find freedom from their actions by deciding that your happiness isn't tied to their response. You don't need the narcissist to apologize for you to feel at peace. The moment you stop waiting for them to change and realize that you are worthy of peace and healing without their validation, you set yourself free. This freedom comes from within, from making the choice to let go, forgive, and move forward, even if they never acknowledge what happened. It's not about them, it's about you. Closure is a personal journey. It means accepting that the past is over and you don't have to keep reliving the hurt or seeking their approval. Instead, you choose to focus on your own healing, your own self-worth, and your own growth. You create closure when you let go of the need to control the outcome of someone else's actions and shift the focus back to your own emotional freedom. You have the power to find peace, even if the narcissist never changes. The closure you seek is already within you, waiting to be discovered. Love is often seen as something that begins and ends, but in truth, spiritual love transcends time. It doesn't simply disappear after a breakup, a loss, or a separation. It transforms. True spiritual love, especially the love that exists between soulmates or chosen ones, continues long after the relationship itself changes. This type of love grows into something far deeper. It becomes gratitude, wisdom, and a higher form of unconditional love. When we experience love across lifetimes, we begin to understand that our souls are not bound by the short span of a single human life. This love is eternal, existing beyond time and space. It flows through us in different forms, sometimes as passion, other times as pain, but always as a constant thread that ties our spirits together. And just because a romantic relationship ends, it doesn't mean the love is lost. Instead, it evolves into something more profound and expansive. As we navigate through life, the love we share with others, especially those we are karmically tied to, holds lessons. These lessons teach us about patience, forgiveness, understanding, and growth. With time, the pain we feel from letting go of someone transforms into gratitude for the experiences that relationship gave us. Even if the relationship was difficult or ended with heartbreak, we learn to see the wisdom in the lessons and how they helped shape who we are today. Spiritual love is never about ownership, it's about freedom. True love doesn't force someone to stay or demand their presence. It doesn't keep us attached to someone who is no longer healthy for us. Instead, it offers a deep, unconditional love that lets the other person go with peace, knowing that they too have their own path to walk. When the chosen one decides to let go of a narcissist, for instance, they are not erasing the love that was once shared. Rather, they are transforming that love into something pure and untainted by emotional manipulation. They are freeing themselves to move forward while still honoring the connection that was shared. The beauty of this transformation is that it leads to spiritual growth. Every relationship we experience, especially those that test us the most, has the power to unlock new levels of wisdom within us. We learn what it means to love ourselves, to set boundaries, and to recognize that love is not always about possession, but about mutual respect and growth. The love we shared in past lifetimes and in this one becomes an infinite source of strength and knowledge. As we grow spiritually, we come to understand that love is not a destination, but a journey. It continues, evolves, and transforms into gratitude, wisdom, and a higher form of unconditional love. Instead of holding on to bitterness or regret, we begin to cherish the experiences and lessons that came with loving and being loved. We learn to see the other person not just as they were in this lifetime, but as a soul with its own journey and purpose. Even if they caused us pain, we can look back and see that the love was never about the circumstances, it was about the growth it catalyzed in us. In truth, spiritual love is not confined to one lifetime or one person. It moves and flows, crossing the boundaries of time. It can manifest as a deep friendship, as a bond with family, or as the purest form of unconditional love for oneself. When we embrace love in this way, we release the idea that love has to look a certain way or exist in a specific form. Instead, we embrace the infinite ways love can be experienced, as peace, wisdom, and even gratitude for the journey we've traveled, no matter how difficult it may have been. Loving them wasn't a mistake, but loving yourself enough to walk away is your legacy across all lifetimes. There comes a point in every soul's journey when they must recognize the difference between self-sacrifice and self-destruction. The love we give, especially to those who may not be able to reciprocate it in healthy ways, is not a mistake. It is a reflection of our deepest capacity for compassion, kindness, and trust. But there is a crucial realization that emerges, often painfully, when we realize that loving someone else has come at the expense of our own peace, happiness, and well-being. This is when we understand that the truest act of love is not just loving others, but also loving ourselves enough to walk away. Walking away isn't about abandoning love, it's about honoring it in its highest form. It's recognizing that sometimes the most loving thing we can do for someone is to set them free, and that includes setting ourselves free. When you choose to walk away from a relationship that drains you or keeps you trapped in cycles of emotional manipulation or codependency, you are not making a mistake. You are breaking free from the chains of attachment that were never meant to define you. It's easy to fall into the belief that loving someone means never leaving, no matter the cost. Society often tells us that loyalty means enduring all things, that love means sacrificing every part of ourselves for the sake of another. But the truth is, true love doesn't bind us, it liberates us. It encourages growth, healing, and mutual respect. And when that respect is no longer there, when love turns into a source of pain and confusion, it's not a failure to walk away. In fact, it's the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter where you finally put your own needs first and reclaim the power that was always yours. When the chosen one walks away from a narcissistic relationship or any unhealthy bond, They are not simply ending a chapter of their life, they are transforming their soul's journey. The act of letting go is not only about releasing someone else, but it is about releasing the versions of ourselves that have been tied to the past. It's about acknowledging that the love we've given, no matter how deep and sincere, was never meant to be attached to someone who cannot truly give it back in a healthy way. This decision, though difficult, becomes your legacy. It is the mark of your spiritual evolution, the moment when you realize that the love you give to others must never come at the expense of your own soul. The love that we choose to give to others, no matter how powerful or deep, is a gift. But the gift of loving yourself enough to let go is the most profound act of courage. This courage shapes not only your future, but your past. It creates ripples in the fabric of time, healing wounds that go beyond this lifetime, connecting you to the many souls you've encountered across countless lifetimes. In every lifetime, the chosen one learns that love isn't about clinging, holding on, or waiting for someone to change. Love is about releasing, growing, and finding peace within yourself. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love that nourishes you, challenges you to be your best self, and supports you in your growth. You can love deeply, but you can also love yourself enough to walk away when the love is no longer serving you in a healthy, nurturing way. Walking away is not about shame or guilt. It's a powerful declaration of self-worth. It's an act that says, I am enough. I deserve to be loved in a way that uplifts me, not tears me down. It is the first step in creating a new, empowered version of yourself, one that carries no baggage of guilt, no lingering doubts, and no feelings of inadequacy. You are worthy of a love that doesn't require you to sacrifice your own happiness. When you walk away with grace, understanding that it is not the end of love, but a transformation, you are beginning a new chapter that transcends all that came before. This is your legacy, the one that echoes through lifetimes. It is the legacy of someone who knows their own value, who has learned the deepest lesson of love, that true love doesn't chain or control, it frees. It's the legacy of a soul that has not only loved others, but has also learned to love themselves in the most profound and life-changing way possible. So, while loving them may not have been a mistake, loving yourself enough to walk away is the legacy that will shape who you are across all lifetimes. It is the most powerful, lasting mark you can leave on the world, not just for this life, but for every journey that follows. Love across lifetimes does not end when one relationship fades. It grows into something bigger, something that has the power to heal, transform, and elevate our spirits. When we learn to let go of the past and the people who no longer serve us, we create space for this higher form of love to flow in. This love is not dependent on anyone else's actions or approval. It is simply the truth of who we are. Beings of light, wisdom, and love, eternally connected to the soul